Alright guys, Jackzer here. Today we're going to go over the Season 1 2025 release notes. So this is going to be cool. This has a lot of stuff jam-packed into it. I'm just going to give you a brisk overlay like I always do. Link is in the description if you really want to get down and dirty. And if you enjoy this video at any point, don't forget to go down, smack the like button, as I love you a long time for it. And subscribe if you want to hang around. I'd love to have you around. So quickly getting into it, they explain it very well up here, but season highlights include the Acura NSX GT3 Evo 22, the BMW M2, which is going to be free, the 499 prototype car, which is amazing, the two Gen 3 supercars, which do look great. We've seen renders of them so far. We've two new tracks, Hussett Speedway and Thruxton Circuit, one of which actually have a runway on it, which is really cool. Demo Drive, which is a cool feature that where similar to Test Drive, when there was maintenance and you could try new content that you don't have, but you have it downloaded. With Demo Drive, even when maintenance mode is finished, there'll be a duration afterwards where you can continue test driving stuff. So you may have a chance to download stuff or download updated content. That's really cool. The debris refresh, we're going to be seeing those cool dynamic stones getting thrown on the track, and you can drive through them, clear a path, throw them back behind, all that cool stuff. I hope they have it so it hits off the car and makes more noise, but hey. Netcode improvements, particularly when it comes to other drivers lagging in front of you or behind you or near you. Specular lighting upgrade. This is to get rid of some of the whitewashing effects of iRacing that you see some people complaining about and some people fix with shader mods. So they're trying to make the colors pop a little more and to stop this like double exposure effect that was happening. Spotter damage effect. So what has happened here, they're going to make more detailed spotter reports. So if you have, engine wear, low power, if you're missing power from your engine, if you have grip damage, tire, wheel damage, steering column damage, all that kind of stuff, that'll be there. They do mention that you should have your spotter up to high chattiness, but some of these alerts are going to be in medium chattiness, all of which will pop up if you press the damage report button. Your spotter will tell you everything you need to know. AI can now flash their cars, so that's really, really cool. Formula V are now rain ready, which is awesome, including the, do they have it here? The Williams FW31, which is savage. That's going to be in AI racing. So that's a fun car to get out in. And because there's never really races with that car, but that's a fun car to hop out with if you want to do some old school F1 racing. And setups have been updated. Happily, they like to add. So here in Demo Drive, they talk about how Test Drive is going to be discontinued and is being replaced with Demo Drive. So it's pretty handy when you talk about this. You just load up the game, car, track, select what monitor you want to use or display mode, and then you can jump straight in. When they leave maintenance mode, Demo Drive will remain for a running period of time, and a countdown will appear to let members know how long it will remain up. So, and navigational links to and from Demo Drive will be available in iRacing when Demo Drive is available, so actually in the UI itself. But they do say, as with the Test Drive service before, newly released content will not be available in Demo Drive until the following season. They got to make their money. If you try the stuff, you might not buy it. At least you can buy it with the hype and then realize you might never drive it again. So yeah, we do have season recaps where it can let you know all your different stats and performances from the season before. A nice cool feature. The settings page has been redesigned for usability and organization. So there's going to be different sections here, and it seems pretty cool. It's dedicated on a full page interface instead of a modal window, which is very nice. I love little UI fixes like that. That's awesome. Some little stuff here. A new entry has been added to the process violations list, unsafe rejoin. That's very nice. So you can actually, it's a protestable offense. It's there in the drop down menu. If you have your footage, you can go snitch on people to your heart's content. And unsafe rejoin is now in its own category. Updates have been made to the sporting code, mainly in regards to the pace car, rallycross racing. There's a lot of new references and penalty types added in there. So they're still going at the sporting code, which is cool. In simulation, they have a lot of stuff here. They have a few fixes, but jumping down here, we can see that the dynamic track debris system has received an overhaul, adding new types of debris, improving their physics properties, upgrading their appearance, and vastly improving how debris is generated and moves around on the track over time. They talk about gravel and mud being added. The grip adjustments and physics behaviors applied by the various dynamic track debris have been fine-tuned by science. So if you drive over these things, they might affect your grip. Dynamic track debris accumulation and dispersion algorithms have been improved with far superior tracking and accuracy for the amounts and locations of all debris of all types everywhere in the world. So that's really cool the way they've gone into great detail here, because this is something you wouldn't want to mess up by underdoing it or overdoing it, if you get me. They go on to say how, the tires can pick up and throw it. They've worked really hard on this and they've improved the textures. So these different little bits on the track, they are easy to see. It's going to be interesting to see if there is an FPS hit, let's say, for this stuff. We'll know once we get out driving, and it may be track dependent as well, as different tracks are kind of heavy hitters as well. So with this system on top, is it gonna hurt it? But with rain, it wasn't too bad itself, so I can't imagine this is gonna be that bad either. Real quick though, they say pit crews have been trained to sweep their pit stalls at the start of sessions. No debris begins in pit stalls. Like that. So jumping into the weather system, there are a few things. The Formula V has had its tires updated, so it's ready for wet racing along with all of these cars. Um, there is better water spray will now interact with discarded vehicle parts. That's one thing that stood out to me. I'm interested to see how that works. The effects of evaporation on temperature before and after after an event begins have been updated. Now, even with the static weather or at dirt tracks, moisture and track temperature are more accurate. Which is here's an interesting one. Fixed an issue that it could occur on oval tracks using the timeline mode weather, where local rain was not correctly forbidden to fall during the sessions if the no rain option was enabled. This was traced back to a regional versus national weather governance dispute, which our lawyers handled brilliantly. What sort of stuff goes into making a simulator? You just wonder sometimes. There's a few updates about race control, but these are mainly all sort of fixes. So we're going to gently brush past this. AI racing has had a huge overhaul, and there's a lot of more stuff that you can race cars and track wise. The whole list is here. Again, link in the description. The spotter has had some cool stuff here. So let's talk about the updated calls. Engine damage, engine power losses, including slight, severe, and totaled, aerodynamic damage, wheel damage, and these new messages will only play if chattiness is set to high. Some of the existing messages about damage have been moved from high to medium chattiness. These new messages about how damage affects your driving will always play during a requested damage report, which you can configure in the settings to like a button on your steering wheel. And Spanish and Italian has been added. Awesome. In regards to pit stops, the auto fuel system has been added to cars that was missing, unless it's a car that doesn't have it. So, for example, by design, these cars don't have it. This is electric, and this car does not refuel. So, and they fixed an issue where fuel fill amounts were sometimes slightly modified during driver swaps. So, it's interesting to have that kind of polished a little bit because the auto fuel feature is a very, very handy feature. And lastly, graphics has had a lot of work put into it. In general, they're going to be getting rid of that whitewashing. The way light interacts with things on the track is going to be a lot better. I'm not going to dive too deep into this now because this is almost a chat on its own. There's a lot of different issues. And as you know, iRacing's graphics can leave a little bit to be desired. So they do know that, and they are trying to work on this quite a lot. So it's going to be interesting to see how this graphics update looks when it's implemented. But here, just to highlight kind of what all of this thing kind of meshes into one to make this package, greatly improved the specular reflectivity rendering for all objects in the simulation, providing greater color value and reducing a whitewashing effect that could occur. This was a long-standing graphics issue where the specular maps were essentially double exposed by the sun and cube maps, causing some blown out whitewash or milky tones in many textures. This also fixes an issue where you could see the sun reflections on surfaces that were completely in shadow where there should be no sun visible. Specular rendering is now much more realistic with a greater range of intensity available. Awesome to see. Can't wait to see that in the sim. And then in audio, we have a few little things. There's been spatial separation has been optimized for cockpit camera views. The in-car stereo has had an improvement made to kind of better reflect the kind of work they've done and how they've recorded their sound. So hopefully it should be an awful lot better. All members now have audio API set to X Audio, their kind of new audio system they implemented a while ago. They do have a volume slider added to the replay options menu to control the volume in replay. So most of you know that usually replay volume is quite a lot louder than in-game volume. So it's nice to be able to preset that to something that doesn't blow your ears out and fix the rare issue where X Audio 2 crashes. And then for the rest of it, it's all fairly straightforward. They have a lot of stuff on cars and different things. They've done small changes. These are all like the itty bitty things within the content. I'm not going to get too into that as I've covered most of the features coming. Might get into the more of the graphics side about it, just have a little discussion, a chat about it. I might wait until it actually comes so we can review it together. But yeah, that's what we have to look forward to for the 2025 Season 1 release of iRacing. So it's going to be cool. A lot of new things added in. The debris is going to be cool. The upgraded lighting. We have a lot of cool stuff to look forward to. So hopefully I will see you on the track and I'll see you in the next one.